fighters' best punch is their jab. It's not as quick as Moore's, and Moore
can following Foreman as Foreman moves the so far, jabbing and hooking with the fully recovered from the beating Stewart gave him. George got
nice right hand by George Foreman. Knocking guys out when they're real big men. Like my man apparently do bother all the way up to try to take care of him.
Something of a bar stool for the teetotaling preacher.
And George's punches are not the fast.
Sharp right by Moore. George has harped on the strategy.
Good straight right hand by big George Foreman.
Back Moore up. Good right hand by Moore. Solid right hand by Foreman. That time again from close range, he was able to throw the right hand lead. In Foreman's corner.
Correct. And really start putting some pressure on you. And as Larry mentioned,
2 consecutive jabs, imposing his will how, Gil?
By just keeping that pressure on, not getting rattled, got nailed in.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that George can't do. He cannot hook off his jab.
Same thing.
Teddy's not doing the fighting.
We've begun to think of them as being so intertwined that they're almost the same person in there. Moore misses with the right.
But he's not countering when George misses.
Solid left hand over the top by Moore.
Or the snap in those punches. They have to accumulate.
You know, this ring could have been 10 feet square.
And again, trying to move. A nice combination by George and an answer back from Michael Moore.
Head back now.
And again, you know, with George, a 45-year-old skin, he should start to mark up. And
may wear a fighter down.
In round 4,
the fight I had.
Old challenger.
Maybe the
Moore is still standing right in front of him.
If George was sitting here, he would say those punches are going to have an effect later in the fight.
Exactly what George would say. Money in the bank.
And George has been landing some pretty good punches in the last 20 seconds. Not moving. Good right uppercut from George Foreman.
From this range. Uppercut, hook, both with the right hand. There's Foreman coming up underneath. Foreman to land, and the big man is getting off to good effect in round 6. What the crowd is responding to is that George's blows appear to be the heavier shots now.
Just couldn't pull the trigger. Michael Moore was walking around the ring and to set George up. Nice straight right hand down the pipe by George. Now Michael is moving too. Big right hand. That's the best right hand of the fight by George Foreman.
And Moore was hurt by that right hand, and he backs into a stationary position against the rope.
And a right uppercut by George. George knows he hurt him.
And now Moore stops George in his tracks with a right. But here comes the big man again. Got into that parallel position against the ropes, which has given him trouble before, Gil.
That's one of a real no-no in boxing. I mean, that's one of the first things you learn. You never put your back flat against the ropes because you look right.
Uppercut by Moore blasted Foreman's chin backward. And George makes it out of the round. Right? Walked casually past Foreman and said, George, don't do that. Right hand landed there. And another. And a right and a left, and suddenly Moore stops punching, and it's Foreman's initiative.
And there's that competitive spirit of George is coming out again. He feels he's nailed Moore with a good punch, and he's a good finisher. He knows how to do it, but he's in with a tough guy.
And remember, Atlas told Moore, George is going to try to find a moment here to steal the crowd. Abs for his trouble. Foreman waiting in to set up a left hook, and another left hook. another left hook shot that missed.
In the young man's game. But Atlas, here we go again with the Atlas. Michael Moore is down.
Down goes Moore on a right hand. An unbelievably close-in right hand shot.
4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It happened. It happened.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Here's a guy I said was a clubber.
As referee Joe Cortez waved his arms over Moore, George Foreman knelt in prayer in the neutral corner.
You know, this was a 2-to-1 fight, but in my mind it was a gazillion to 1 that George Foreman could ever win the heavyweight championship again. This is a really remarkable achievement, and it has to stand on its own. We're in a show and tell medium, and show does it all.
We mentioned that he was having a strong round. He had set up some blows, and then that right hand anesthetized Michael Moore.
It sure did. And that's the one thing I said George couldn't do. He couldn't get you out with one punch. But boy, he sure fooled me and Michael Moore.
It landed right on the point of the chin, Gil.
Right on the button where it says good night.
You see the blood welling up behind Moore's lips as he momentarily went to sleep. The 68th man in 26 years to have fallen before the professional fury of George Foreman.